what the Chinese were being done for in our presence, we were like, if they do this to their own, what about us?
What were they doing?
The Chinese were leaving the premises and coming back with an incision. So when you ask them, what happened? They were like, one of my kidneys not there.
What?
Yes.
We don't have the money. So I told her, I just want to call it a quit. Then she told me, you know, Moreen, when all this information is disclosed, you can be chopped into pieces and put in a sack, you and your mother.
Was it that a threat?
Yes.
Hello Tuko family, my name is Kingori Wangeshi. Welcome to this episode of My Story right here on Tuko. And on today's episode, we'll be discussing this ream of papers. It contains volumes of evidence and form of transactions that our guest did, amounting to millions of shillings that went down the drain. A friend introduced her to a process, but this process turned out to be a fraud. Let's welcome our guest, Moreen. Moreen, karibu Tuko.
Asante sana.
Kuna wale husema ati tuliingia kwa ofisi ya Tuko tukapata hawako. Waambie Tuko.
Mko, I can certify that.
Kindly introduce yourself to our audience before we have this conversation.
Okay, thank you. My name is Moreen Kamau. I'm a mother to one daughter. I'm the firstborn in a family of 3 siblings. I'm a Christian, an Anglican to be specific, and that is a briefing of me.
Quite a comprehensive one. Now, we are here because of a huge amount of money. Tell us about your story.
Back in 2022, June, I was one of the victims who were rescued by the government in the Thailand scam. I was able to travel to Laos, to be specific, Golden Triangle. That was now the exact location. I did not go there with the job description that I found there. I went there as a sales agent from here. Previously, I've done marketing and selling. So with the same experience, I was comfortable to travel. And it being my first international flight, I was so excited about it. But upon arrival in Thailand airport, that is when now we found out the information we were given by the agent is not corresponding to what we are in the ground. So on arrival in the airport, we had directives from Kenya now. We were given assistance through the WhatsApp. We were able now to connect our flight to Laos. It was not a bad experience.
Before we get to the experience on the ground, how did you learn of that opportunity and decided that I'm going to do sales and marketing in Thailand?
I was given a referral by a friend who had traveled to Dubai to an agent here in Kenya. Through the agents now, that is when I found out about the Thailand opportunity. It was booming a lot by then, so the pay was good by the information given out by the friend. And I was determined to work because I know, being a hardworking person, any opportunity that you take, you utilize it. I did not have any referral of a friend that we were going along with, so we all met at JKIA. That was how now we met the team of 8.
Okay, 8 Kenyans.
8 Kenyans. That's the total amount of people that we landed now in the Golden Triangle.
Were you going to do nurse aid?
No. Apart from nurse aid, I've done marketing and business. So since there was no opportunity for being a nurse aid, I was okay doing the marketing. And one thing I had done research was Thailand speaks English. So I was conversant that I won't have the language barrier. And I was open for it. So it was an 8-hour trip. We got to Thailand airport. There was a connection because the initial place we knew we were going, it's Thailand. Because we had now even the Thailand visa. But on our ticket, there was an extension of another flight that we were to board. From Thailand, now we landed in Chiang Mai.
That is?
It's on your way now to Laos. So we landed in Chiang Mai. There were 2 ladies who came to pick us in the airport because it was already at night. So we thought now we got to the place. It was a good 4-star hotel. The reception was okay. We didn't see anything alarming. Actually, we were so comfortable with the place. We spent the night. The following day, we were now to go get the golden triangle to pass so that we can continue with our journey. Now, the following day, the 8 of us went to now the station where we were supposed to get now the visa to pass. The translator paid. That was 1,000 Thailand money. So he paid, and we were now to cross the famous Mekong River. But now the worry was, we had suitcase. The 8 of us, each one had a suitcase. So the worry was, there is no, like here in Kenya you have ferries. So there was no ferry that was crossing. There were only those speed boats that were ignited by fuel. You just pull the rope. So we were given the life jackets, and we were told you need to balance in position, you need to sit in position so that it balances. And the river is so deep. From Mekong River, it was from Chiang Mai, we went now to the Golden Triangle. So on reaching the Golden Triangle, we had a receiver, a Chinese receiver. We got now the visa. That was a 1-month visa. So we were taken from there to now the initial residence. It was more than 30-story building.
So was that the resident or the company?
The company now.
Okay. Where you had to start working?
Yes, where we were to start working. The first that we were given the typing speed. They needed to check our typing speed. We did for like a week. So they're just supervising you, no talking, don't waste time, and you cannot go to the loo like in more than 6 times. The whole session you are there working. So we were later now told to open accounts
for
Instagram. We opened the account. We were given now the phones. Our phones were confiscated the first period. So you were told you stay without the phone, you'll be given during the weekend. So we opened the account, and unfortunately, after opening now the accounts, the Instagram, Facebook, unfortunately we were sold to another company. But we didn't know we were being sold. We were told you're transferring now to the main company because here is where you train, then you go and join the rest of the team. So we went, we were taken by a van, we carried our belongings, and we now went to the main company.
The main company?
Yes, the main company. It was a very tall building. It was frightening at first. Because we were the only black people around. And I think some people have never seen black people in their life. So at first, we're like, is that your skin color? Is that how you look? Like, yes.
You were an attraction.
Yes. And from there, we were given one day to settle in. So the following day, we were supposed to resume work.
When you opened the social media accounts, Instagram, Facebook, and all of that, what were you doing with them?
We were not told exactly what we were going to do with them. So we were just told open the accounts.
Did you upload your pictures?
No.
Profile pictures?
We didn't upload our profile pictures. We were given SIM card slots and airtime that we were going to use. And a phone. And we were given, there's an app that you Chrome, you get more than one Facebook account. Yes. So the following day now came the day for working. Now it's a different time zone. So you sleep during the day, you're working from midnight. So we resumed work.
What are you selling?
Now this is now the thing. When we got there, the perception we had in the previous company is not what we get here. It's totally a different thing. So we are given more phones, more SIM cards, more airtime.
Per person?
Per person.
Like how many?
For me, I had 5.
5?
5 iPhones. It was depending on the nature of your speed. That will determine how many phones you'll be having. Then you are told here we sell products online, but you are not told the exact product. And before you start, you have to sign a new contract. We were given a new contract. The pay was less than the previous company. It had rules. If you come late, you get a deduction. If you spend more time in the washroom than the expected number of times, you have to pay. If you do not meet the requirements of that day's work, you'll have to pay. So everything was money.
What if you surpass?
What if you surpass, you get a bonus.
Okay.
And there was no working overtime. It was strictly working hours. When the working hours are over, all of you leave the premises. So we had an argument because of the pay. We told them this is not why we came here. And they had their way of convincing. Actually, I was the representative of the 8 Kenyans. And I told them, since we're here to work, let us work. We cannot go back empty-handed. And we have already spent money coming here. And now we were told they need money from us. So that was now the issue. This money was, the agents received money from the Chinese people. So per person, they knew they had an expenditure of 3 million.
What?
Yes.
The company?
Yes.
So you were to refund that money?
We were to refund. So what do? You don't say it at home. We now have a negotiation. We bring to the table, this is what I've paid my agent. So we came with different agents apart from my friend. I can also mention her name, she's okay. She's Joanne. We came with the same agent. So we said, this is the money we have all paid. We cannot be working to pay you back. But we were told you don't have a choice. We have your passports. So our passport was taken away. So before we meet, we were told you carry your passport along. They were told they're being taken in a safer place. This is what we do. So they had our passports on hand already. we didn't have a choice because you don't have your passport, you don't speak the language they speak. So even going back, if you just remember transitioning from where we are, it's not a place where you can take a cab. They're just apartments and buildings that are being constructed. You don't know even how to go about it. And before leaving the premises, you must have a pass. We didn't have that one.
I'm interested to know the products that you are pushing or selling using the iPhones.
So we now came, we were given notes. This note entailed we are selling coins, the Bitcoins. And it was like trading. But they own their accounts, the Chinese now. It was their account. But the product that you're being told to sell, it's not a product. It's just a name they used to say it's a product. But in reality, it's not. So the 5 phones were to create accounts. We had WhatsApp, Instagram, Telegram, Facebook, Twitter. So we had all the spaces that you need. So after you create the accounts, the first thing was to look for a dummy person to be your replica. There were instructions on how to go about it. You cannot use a black person. So they preferred Russian. There was an estimate of height, the body size, and now the features to look for. We're looking for those photos. We were shown how to go about it. There was someone assigned now to be our team leader to show us how to go about it. And we created the accounts, and now everything was set. So now the issue was, how do you sell Bitcoin? We were given notes. So everything was provided. We were given notes. This is how you're going to do it. But now the challenge was, we asked, this Bitcoin, where is the money coming from? Because there was a dummy account of the replica of now the Bitcoin transactions, and it looked so real. You can't tell it's not real. So those now, the dummy people that we had, we had more than
dummy accounts.
Yes, we had now dummy. We personificated the real person. So you use this person for this account, another person for a different account. It was not one person. You create your own names. You choose now the name, because if it's a Russian, you must have Russian names. But we could not meet up with their pace. So every time we could do an overtime of typing. So when the rest go to sleep, it's like now a punishment. You did not achieve. You must type. You could type for more than 1 hour. Yeah.
The requirements that you're not meeting, the threshold per day.
Yes.
What are they? Is it money?
The threats were this. Because you're very new, you must have a person that is perfect. And a person whom the Chinese people, they're not using. And if they are, if your account gets blocked, you must know your way out to look for a new person. So you could not be given resources twice. So it once. Then you now befriend. The issue is now you befriend men. Yes. You now open dating sites that you could look for now the targets.
Okay. Now
so the soft targets, you could get them on dating sites. And you needed to look for someone who looks owning money, a lavish lifestyle that could meet up to now getting the money from them to invest in the app. It was not easy. It was tough. And what the Chinese were being done for in our presence, we were like, if they do this to their own, what about us?
What were they doing?
You could stand the whole day. You could be beaten in front of everybody. You could be beaten. And you're beaten in a point where you're not even able to walk. So like, if they do this to their own, what about us? Now the thing was, we don't have our passport. So we liaised with them. We got our phones, because even here our phones were taken. We told them, in our country, it's not politically safe. So if you could just give us the phones, we could, yes, we could be checking on our families. So I told it's okay, but during working hours, you give us the phone. After working hours, you take back. So we made calls home, but no one knew the exact thing you were doing. Just saying everything is okay. I could not disappoint my parents. And you could not tell them you have wasted resources going there. So you had to persevere. We tried the first month, the second month, nothing. No, it was now draining you because you can't sleep. You need to look for people. You are scared now because if it continues like that, you're not gonna get even meals. So we were like on and off. We could cry. When you go to our sleeping area, you could cry. You could just talk to your parent, then you cry yourself to sleep. Because this is not what I signed for. This is not what I wanted. How am I going to say I'm doing an online scam? And you have now come to light. You're not selling Bitcoin. You are defrauding them. The first time you knew you were selling Bitcoin, they could trade and they used their platform. But now later on you have found out you are defrauding your targets using their accounts. And
so let me ask, when you do that, because I have also received such messages and emails that I trade or I use this platform and I got this amount of money in returns and all that. How were you getting money, or how was that company getting money?
So the trading app was the Chinese owned. So you could send him a link, or her. You could send a link. They could direct you to the portal now, directly to the Now Chinese portal. Money. Now you deposit and you check on your phone. Yes. So I tell you, for you to get good profit, you can trade on 1,000 USD and you're gonna make double the profit. So you, by nature, it's a transaction that was taking 30 seconds. By nature, no one doesn't love money. So you could be tempted to do it. So we negotiate on how much you have. So the 8 of us, no one was able to do it. We now had a problem now after we could not do it. We told them we can't. They told us we need our money back. Then during that period, the Chinese were leaving the premises and coming back with an incision. So when you ask them what happened, they were like, one of my kidneys not there.
What?
Yes. So there was a black market there that organs were sold. So we were now even more scared of, did we leave Kenya to come here to go back
Without some organs.
Without some organs. What if we don't live here alive? We already created a perfect picture back home.
So when you're talking to these Chinese colleagues of yours, was the organs taken voluntarily?
No.
Did they volunteer?
No, it's a must. We tell now the agents, this is what is happening. You're the one who brought us here. So you're the first people we're going to contact.
And you brought us here to do sales and marketing, but
sales.
that is not what we are doing.
That is not what we are doing. And the agent tell us, you know, I'm not there. I don't know what is going on there. And that is not what I was told myself. I was also given a referral by another agent. So you have to sort yourself. How do you sort yourself? During meals, we met with 3 Ugandans. And they are the ones who gave us the information. In Thailand, there is a Kenyan embassy. But since your phone, now after we declined working, our phones were being monitored the whole time. Whom you're talking to, the kind of messages and the kind of photos you're sending.
They had hacked into your phones?
Yes. So every time after break or after work, you need to submit your phones randomly. They come where you sleep, they check.
Oh, they had not hacked, they would just come?
They would just come.
Okay.
So we couldn't use our phone to get to the Thailand embassy. So the Ugandans, they told us, no, the easiest way to go about it, we are going to do it for you. And they made the contact call to the Thailand embassy. And that is now our journey of going back started.
That is coming back to Kenya?
Yes, coming back to Kenya. In waiting for the tickets, an organization from here, Heart Kenya, they joined hands with the human rights now in IOM. We were able now to get the tickets to come to Kenya. So on arrival at the airport, actually they were the ones who picked us. We were taken to a shelter. And in the shelter we got some therapy.
Here in Kenya?
Yes, here in Kenya. We got therapy. We went for a medical checkup because people had different experiences back there. So you needed to confirm you're full, just the way you left here.
Well, that you don't have some organs.
Yes,
missing.
and you have not been abused sexually. I got a part-time job that I was working, and that's how I maneuvered now for the months until now. I got the interest of traveling again because I had not fulfilled my desire, and the scarcity of jobs here, I couldn't limit myself, and the government also is providing job opportunities outside. So I was open to traveling again.
Which year was that?
2023.
Okay.
So after now I came back, I stayed for 6 months working. But it was not sustainable like before I traveled. I did not want to go anywhere. I'm feeling there is that trauma of going through what I went through. And that is now I chose Canada to go as my dream country. So.
And what were you to go and do? Nursing aid?
Yes, nursing aid. So I had applied so many jobs online and none went through. A friend of mine gave me a call. She called me around 5 and she told me, Moreen, there is a job opportunity in Canada, and I don't know if you would be interested, because initially I was to travel with my partner now, and she has traveled to Moyale. It's past due the time she's supposed to come back, and she's not here. If you're in a position to swipe in, you come, we go, then she can come along later. Then I told her, I've heard you, and let me go and talk with my parents, then I'll give you back a call. I went and talked to my mom. I want to go back, to go now to Canada. There's a job opportunity. Would you be comfortable to be left now with my daughter again? Then she was like, yes, I don't have an issue with that. As long as you will be able to make it, go for it. Then I gave her a call. I told her yes. And I asked her, how much are we talking about?
Because you're already familiar with the process.
Yes, with the process. She told me 400,000. Then I asked her, are we going through an agent? And these agents, the company, is it registered to NEA? Now, you know, already I had this experience. Now I knew what I'm supposed to look for if I'm going through with an agent.
What is NEA? There's someone who doesn't know.
NEA, it's an approval of companies from the government that are certified to take people to work abroad.
Okay.
So she told me, no, it's a government program. I was like, government, yes. During that time, Mr. Alfred Mutua had opened the job opportunities of people going abroad. Then I was like, oh, because already there's this information from the news, and this one is also a government thing. They look to be true. Then I was like, okay, so what are the requirements? I inquired from her directly. She told me you must have a passport, you must have vaccinations, and the rest is being done by the government directly. And I was like, okay, so who is doing the program? And she told me, I'm going to give you the number, her name, and she's the one taking us now to work. Then I asked her, you've told me you're going direct to work. Are we going to work in hospital, in home setups? She told me we are living with the patient from here in Kenya. So I told her, if you're living with the patient, I should be familiar with the patient's conditions. Because you cannot just travel with someone you don't know you've just met at the airport. And we were to be given a placement in government hospitals here with the patient you'll be traveling with. And that's how now the call ended with her. She gave me now the number, and the lady in question was given my number. So she called me later in the evening, and during that time before she called me, I went and gave down my mom the briefing, because she was the one who was around. I gave my mom the briefing, and she told me that's okay. Since you're not going back to where you are, and you have your passport back, you can travel. So she called me later in the evening, and she told me, I've been given your number by your friend. And she has told me you want to travel to be her partner. And I told her, yeah, Charlene is my friend. I've known her from back in school. So I am okay working with her. And that was now the beginning of now the nightmare. I was to pay a registration fee. And the starting amount was 63,000. So this 63,000 entailed uniforms, because you couldn't work with the uniform that I was using because we are going as a team. So it had uniforms, 2 sets of uniform. There was now the registration fee inclusive. And now, after that, that is when now this 400 amount, you're going to deduct the 63,000 from, because it's inclusive there. And after you get your uniform, because you're going to get it from here, I'm going to give you a placement of job to be working. So I said, it's okay. But I need time because I was already in another place. I can't just leave them like that.
Did you have the 400,000?
Yes.
Okay.
I had it in a fixed account. So I needed now to, but the 63,000, I had 70,000 in my M-Pesa. So I knew because it's almost weekend, during Monday, I'll go fill the form and say, I need the money back. So I went, filled the form, the money was credited in my account. I was given now the number to do the transfer of the 63. But now Lucy, she was the receiver of the money. Charlene, on the other hand, gave me the number, the same number. She told me this is the number that I usually do the transaction. Then I told her, before I do the transaction, have you done it? She said yes. She sent me a message, up to date, I have it on my phone. She told me, actually, I've just sent 20,000, and if you don't believe me, I'll send you the message. Then I told her, yes, please do. Then she told me, it's already on your end, you can check. Then I just saw she sent 20,000 to Lucy. Then I told her it's okay. So I sent the money. After sending, she went silent for 1 month. So during this 1 month she's silent, I called Charlene. I told her, I've paid 63,000 and she's off.
The phone was off?
The phone was off because the money we did the mobile transfer. So she went off. Then I asked her, why is she off? Then she told me she goes outside countries so much. It's the nature of her job. Since she works in Kenyatta, it's the nature now. So this 1 month.
By Kenyatta, you mean Kenyatta National Hospital?
Yes, Kenyatta National Hospital.
Okay.
She's a civil servant, so it happens. Then we kept in touch with Charlene. Then one day I asked her, what about your partner, your initial partner? Where is she? Then she told me, I have not reached her on the mobile phone, but maybe she's not picking my calls because she has delayed my travel. I'll forward the number. You can give her a call, then you tell me she's speaking. I didn't see anything off with it. So I called. I told her, no, it's not going through. She's also off. Then she told me, let's wait for Lucy to come back so that we can proceed and travel. I was like, okay. After a few days, the lady now in question, Eunice, she made the call to me. She told me, she first wrote a message. You had tried to call me. So I texted her back. I was given your number by Charlene.
Now Eunice is a partner to your friend?
Yes,
Okay.
Was not the initial partner before I came in the picture. So I told Charlene, actually, Eunice is
on now.
Reachable. She's reachable. Then she told me she has not picked my call, but let me wait. Since she has just texted, let's wait, she calls. Then she calls me. She gives an introduction of herself. I was to travel with Charlene, but I had a patient, so I couldn't leave them without someone to take care. So I had to go back, do the orientation of the new nurse aide so that I can leave. So she told me I've also paid 63,000 and my amount is a bit more because, I was ahead of you. Then I asked her, oh, okay, so did you get your visa already? Then she told me not yet. But I've already done my interview. I'm waiting now to go get my jabs. Those are now the vaccines so that we can travel. And I told her, oh, you're so many steps ahead of me. For me, I just made the payment and I'm waiting now for the interview.
So now are you to go as the three of you?
So it wasn't, we were now talking without Lucy in the picture. So we don't know if you're going the three of us. So now Eunice told me, you know what, I'll talk to Charlene, I'll apologize because I've derailed the travel. Then we shall wait for her so that we can travel together. So 1 month passed and Lucy came back. She made the call and Charlene told me she's on, Eunice told me she's on, I told her she's also on, she has called me.
How did she account for the 1 month that she was off?
So she told me, I'm very sorry, I was not around. I had gone to Uganda, I was also in Congo. I had traveled a lot. I'm very sorry. But I'll book for you to go to Kenyatta National Hospital for your interview. Then after that, we can now proceed. If you don't pass the interview, I'm going to refund your money. I told her it's okay. So during the day that was chosen for the interview, something came up. Then she told me, since there's a lot going on, you're going to do an online interview. And she interviewed me herself. So she asked me questions and I did answer. So later on she told me, wait, I'll give you the feedback because it was an online and it was a panel who were listening to you. I'll give you feedback. So 2 days went by and I told Charlene I've gone through the interview. And she told me, I hope utapita so that we can go along. And then Eunice was like, oh, for me I'm waiting for the vaccines, but I've been told I have to wait for a partner. So Charlene was in Mombasa. So the question was, oh, what about you? I told her I've just done the interview, I'm waiting for the results. Then Lucy called me. you have passed your interview, so we are going to book you for now the vaccines. So I was asked, which vaccines have you been given? Then I said, I have the yellow fever. I have the hepatitis B. You don't have any other vaccines given? Then I told her, no, I've not been administered any, apart from the ones I was administered when a kid. And I was told, we'll have to get now vaccinations. You'll have to be given the meningitis, hepatitis A and B, flu, cholera, typhoid, influenza. Then I noted down the vaccines that I'm supposed to be given. Then I asked her.
Now, according to your profession, was it consistent with what is required?
Yeah.
Are all these vaccines required?
Yeah, they are required.
Okay.
So I was like, it's okay. Since I don't have them, am I supposed to get them at, I asked Lucy now, am I supposed to get them at one institution? Do you have a specific institution that you recommend that I go directly?
That probably you use.
Yes. Then she told me, you're going to pay money directly to me. Then I'll give you instructions and the day and time that you're going to get. I sent money. Now the flow of money started increasing. I sent money for the vaccines.
How much was it?
From the 63, I sent 75,000. The money started now escalating. 75, 100, 150, 200.
No, these are for vaccinations.
Yeah. So after now the paying for the first batch, I was booked now to go to Kenyatta National Hospital for the vaccines. So I arrived there late by 10 minutes. So I was told, Moreen, you're not going to get your vaccine because you're already late. People are given in pairs. You are alone. I spent 3 hours stranded in Kenyatta.
Waiting for a partner? Or
Waiting for a partner. Because she told me, wait. I stayed there for 3 hours. No one came. So she gave me a call around 5 from the afternoon. She called me at 5. She told me, do this, go back to town. When you reach town, give me a call. I'll tell you where you're going to go get your vaccines. So I went back to town. I called her back. Then I was told, now go to Lemoma Pharmaceuticals. When you get there, give the phone to one attendee and I'll give them instructions. And that is what I did. So I went to Lemoma. I asked who was doing the immunization because they have an immunization section. Then I gave my phone to an attendee and they had a conversation. Then I was told, come we go, you get your vaccines. So I was given the hepatitis A and B, the flu, and I can't remember the other one. So after that, I went home because it was now late. I went home, but I did not pay directly. So I went home. I called Charlene. I've been given jabs. What about you? And she told me, for me, I'll receive them here in Mombasa. And I was okay. I didn't see any alarming issue. So
did you ask about the costing?
I didn't ask because I had already paid Lucy. So she told me...
Did you ask Charlene about how much she was paying per vaccine?
Oh no, I didn't.
Okay.
But the total amount I was given is the same amount that was corresponding to Charlene and Eunice.
Okay.
So I went home.
So at this point, how much have you spent?
I've spent almost 300,000. Yes.
The 400? Or you are subtracting from the 400?
I'm subtracting from the 400.
Okay.
So the trade went on. So I went home. I was told, you're not yet done with the vaccines. So there are yet others you're supposed to be given. Then we had to wait for her to plan. In the meantime, I'm talking to Charlene and Eunice. So if I compare the notes, they tally. So I now asked Charlene, when are we approximately going to travel? And she told me, within 3 months we'll have left. Then I was comparing, that's normally the normal time for the process, even that's the normal time the agents give you. So I was like, okay. I told my mom, I've been given these vaccines. I had the vaccination card. And I'm waiting for others. So I was booked now for another batch of vaccine. So I received it in Nairobi hospital. So the same instruction I was given, it's the same instruction I was given also in Nairobi. So we sent money, the normal trend, sent money to her. Then I take myself there. I get the vaccine for the meningitis. And I go back home. So the vaccine day was a whole day. Because, you know, we are so many who are traveling. She has to make calls. People are in different locations.
And when you went to these vaccination centers, was it, or did you have company? Like, there were other people who were looking for the same vaccine to travel?
There was one lady we met. We have met in 2 occasions. But from there we have never met again. Yes.
But there were other people who were looking for the same vaccine to travel?
I don't know exactly, because on arrival, I just give out my name.
Okay.
So you wait now to be called to get your vaccination. So I'm not sure if there was anybody else among now
the people
that we found there.
Okay.
So the vaccination day took a whole day. Then I went back home. I carried along now another vaccination card. So I told my friend back, I've been given this. What about you? We have been given the same. Then now the question was, we are 3 of us. We travel in pairs. What will happen? I don't have a partner. Then Lucy called me and told me, Moreen, it's unfair if you travel without a partner because of the workload. And it could be easier for you if you get a partner yourself and work together as a team. So Joanne, we were back with her in Thailand, and we kept in touch. So she was like, she was open to traveling and go back to work. And I told her, there is now Lucy, who is facilitating for people to travel to Canada, and she's a civil servant in Kenyatta Hospital, and I've been recommended by my friend, and I don't have a partner. Could you be interested? Then she told me, let me talk to my parents, then I'll give you feedback. So she told me, she called back, I would be interested. So how much are they charging? I told her, I don't know how much you're going to be charged, considering you are not certified. And I don't know how it's going to work. So I called Lucy, I told her, I have a friend who is interested, but she's not a certified nurse aide. And she told me, before you travel, she'll have already finished her program here. So I was okay. And considering we came back with nothing, I don't want to make it alone. Let me tag along a friend so that we can be able to uplift ourselves together.
Win together.
We win together.
Yes.
And even when we came back, I told them, the 8 of us, we have been through a lot. So whoever gets an opportunity, don't be selfish. So I shared. She had a conversation with her. Then I told her I've already gotten like half of my vaccines. I've only been left with one. And I was like, okay. She was like, okay. So where am I going to get the vaccines? Who am I going to pay the amount to? Then I gave her the number that you were sending. It's not the same number that we used to communicate with her. It was a different number.
Okay.
So I shared the number. Then I told my friend I found a partner. So I knew we were going, the 4 of us. Afterwards, she was now introduced to now the sending. She was told, pay this. I told her, yes, I've paid that. So when she was getting her first vaccines, actually I'm the one who took her to Lemuma. I took her there. And she got the vaccines. She went back with the vaccination card. And for her, it was different because she had to be enrolled now in a school.
So that she can be certified.
So that she can be certified. And she did. So afterwards, now for her, now the program is different because now she has to go to school. So for us now, I told her, you're only left with one vaccine. So you have to get it. You know, now time is flying. I've sent money. The 400 I had is over. So what do? I went back to my parents. I want to travel. I'm requesting if you could lend me money. I'm going to return. So the first amount I borrowed my dad. My dad is a very strict person. So he usually asks, how much do you have so that I can top you up? Then I said the amount I have. And he told me, okay. And he asked me, how sure are you it's not a scam? Then I told her, I got a recommendation from my friend, and she has referrals of people who have traveled already. And that's okay. I was given money.
About how much?
50,000. But my dad gave my mom. And since I had said it's a loan, my mom told me, hii pesa umekopewa. You cannot joke around. You have to use it wisely. And I said, okay. I'll return. So my mom sent the money. I told her, usinipatie. You'll send it directly to Lucy. That's how my mom now got the number, because she had it, but they had communicated like a parent to a facilitator.
Mm-hmm.
So she sent the money. I went to Mater Hospital. I was given vaccine. Then now I came back. Then now my friend, the one I had introduced, Joanne, she went to school. In the meantime, what do you do? I was asked, how proficient is your English?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, it's just the normal English that we communicate. I have not advanced in English or any literature. So I was told, you have to go and study so that you take the IELTS exam.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to pay. So where do I get money from to pay? I go back to my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Mom, I've been told I have to go study for the IELTS so that I can do the exam. I went to school. I was there in spring. Then I studied for 1 month, 2 weeks. That's 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm. To better your English.
To better my English so that when I go for IELTS, I know what is needed of me.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed to have money now to pay for IELTS. For me, I've exhausted my resources. My parents are not chipping in for me. My parents did the transaction again. So the amount is now increasing. It's not 20, 30, 50, no. It's 100,000. So we paid. After now the 6 weeks, I had now to book to go and do the IELTS. So in the midst of booking, Charlene is in Mombasa. So what do we do?
Mm-hmm.
Are you coming back to Nairobi? Then no, I'm partaking mine here. On the other hand, Eunice, the same story, in different location. But now I asked Lucy, what will happen? Because I had seen her once in Kenyatta. We had an encounter once.
Mm-hmm. You had met her?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But ever since from that day, I've never met her again. So what do we do about the IELTS? You have to book. She told us, I'm going to do it for you. For me, it's just a phone call. Since I'm so familiar with these things, I'll book the session for you, don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
So that story went pending now. Then she told me, as much as you're waiting now to book the IELTS, we need for you to have insurance. Do you have an insurance cover? I told her, for me, I only had NHIF. And I told me, no, that one cannot go international. You need to have an insurance. You need to pay for it. And remember, since you're traveling to Canada, the currency is different. So you need to have an insurance with a good amount. So that's the flow of bigger amounts started.
Uh-huh. How much was that insurance? How much is this what she is referring to as a good amount?
A good amount was 300,000. I have started chipping in from my parents.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't get that amount. So what do? We seek to take a loan. we take a loan from bank facilities. And we made the payment to her. So from there, the money started increasing.
Was the insurance?
I have never
processed?
seen the insurance. I don't know if it was ever processed. But from that day, we started doing transaction of more than $500,000 per day.
Why? And for what?
So the amount was to cover for my accommodation there. We needed to get a place. We needed to have our transportation.
And you're sending this money to Lucy?
To Lucy. So we sent, and I asked Charlene, have you also paid the same amount I'm paying? And she was like, yes, I've paid, and even an MCA from Kikuyu is doing the payment for me, since I cannot afford it. Then I was like, okay, even for me, we can't afford that amount, but we have taken loans. We went on with the same trend, and I was now given an option, Moreen. Since this is a government program, you have an option to choose the NGO that you're going with. I was given options. There was Red Cross, PEFA, UN, USAID. Then I was like, for me, let me pick USAID. I chose USAID because I've seen people being employed here in Kenya, also in hospitals. And for her, Lucy, the day we met, she had her name tag and USAID into bracket on the same name tag. So I was confident in what I'm choosing. Then after choosing USAID, I had to pay for choosing it. Yes. I made the payment.
About how much?
So from there, the trend went on. It's big amount you're doing. We could even do 750 a day. So I could send. If my limit was reached, my mom could do the transaction for me.
And where were you getting this money?
We borrowed. We borrowed from friends, family. We took loans. So anywhere we could think of getting the money, we did. And most of this amount we were credited by people. And the amazing thing, we could not borrow you money and you refuse to give us. You would. Even for the banks. Previously, even if you try, you couldn't get a loan. But that time it was very possible and very fast. So we got the money. So the trend was payment, 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 payment. And my friend Joanne was also doing the payments on her end as she's studying. So she also went for an attachment. And I was okay, since now she's doing an attachment, we are almost our travel because I can't go without a partner. Then I had now a communication with Eunice. I asked her, which organization did you choose? She told me, I had chosen UN. What about you? I told her I chose USAID. She asked me, why did you choose USAID? I told her, USAID pays very well, even here in Kenya. So if I go with it, I think the pay will be better. Then she told me, let me do this. Let me change my option and tell Lucy I also want to go with USAID. She made the call. Lucy called me. I don't know who is inciting you to tell the others to pick you, I said. What about the other NGOs? I told her, I didn't do it on purpose. We were just discussing. Then she told me, you know, venye kila kitu mnaongea, I know. So I started asking Charlene, how is she able to know we are communicating? How is she able to know the exact words that we used? Then the trend went on, which was USAID. We were sent a link that we could create a profile. Then you choose an university that you could go and study with. Then for me it was UNICAF. I did the application online. Then I told her it has been successful for the studies, but there is some payment you have to be doing.
So was it mandatory that when you go there you have to study?
It was optional because she told me, you're very young. What would you want to do when you get there? Then I told her, because this money I've borrowed, the first thing I'll return. After returning, I'll study. Because in Canada, US, you have an option to do high level of education without checking your high school academics. That's now how I told her. So she asked me, what would you want to do? And I told her I would want to do nursing because I have the basics, but I would really want to do now being a certified nurse.
Advance.
Yes, because if I advance, the pay will be good. And I'm still young, and I know my child is in safe hands. So I won't say I'm having any stress or any excuse not to study. And I know my parents are not the one who are going to facilitate. I'm not going to say I'll do the parallel, or I'll have to go back and upgrade my sciences. And she told me it's okay. Then we now had a conversation now with Eunice of how are we going to stay there. And I told her, for me, I'll share my room with my colleague. And I'm very comfortable with her because you've been together with her. So if it's hardship, we already faced it in Thailand. But she told me, you know, you're the one who will be above her. So you cannot be able to share the accommodation with her. So what will happen? Then she told me, we are going to stay, us who are in charge, and we have a better experience. Then I was like, what about her? She's going to stay with the rest of those who are just done with school. So you'll be showing her things that she doesn't know. So I was like, okay. Then Lucy made the call. Have you sorted yourself how you're going to stay? Then I told her. Then she gave me an option. She told me, if you want to stay with your partner, you can pay extra money so that she can stay with you.
Now you're paying for somebody to stay with you?
Yes. Then I was told the amount. I cannot recall the figure exact, but I made another transaction. So I paid. Then my friend called me, Joanna Kanoliza, whom will you be staying with? Then I told her, I'm going to be staying with you. Don't worry, just because you're not so experienced, whatever you don't know, I'll show you.
Yes.
So don't be stressed about it. And since you are going there to work, just always have the focus of what has brought you there. Don't lose that focus. So we exhausted all the resources after paying for going to USAID. We have gone broke.
Take me back. Take me back.
Okay.
When you chose the university, you talked about some payment. You told Lucy about some payment.
Yeah.
Did you pay?
No, I did not pay. So we were to enroll while we were there, but you do the application here in Kenya,
Okay.
because it was a USAID requirement. So in the midst of all that, I do wear specs. So I was told, since you have an eye condition, you'll have to facilitate for a doctor from USAID to approve for you, so that when you go there, you'll just be given the specs without any distress of having to come back here because of your medical report. So I paid. I was even to be given new specs from USAID. That did not happen. A friend of mine was now facilitating for me. We have exhausted our resources as a family. We have taken loans. So I had one last friend. Then I told, don't send the money to me directly. I'll just give you the number you'll be sending to her. Then the trade went on. So they could even get in touch, and I would be given the information, your money has been paid for. He made the transaction for more than $1 million. So, and this transaction, we were told, since you have derailed for so long here, the USAID is going to give you some payment. And this payment, after you get the payment, you're going to be reimbursed all this money you have sent. This money is being accounted. So your money is safe. So we were to get a salary in quote. But now, this salary, for us to be given, because it's a lot of money, you know, already this whole time, I've done a transaction of more than 8 million. So for you to be credited that amount, you need a lawyer. So I was asked, Moreen, do you have a lawyer? No, I don't have one. So the USAID has a lawyer. So you're going to pay money. Then you're going to go to their offices. And I'll send someone to give you the documents. You read through them, you sign, then you return. So I told my parents. We went with my mom. On arriving there, we gave out our IDs so that we could go through. But you're told, no, we cannot go through. And we cannot find her name. So I called her. Then I was told, what about any other official name that she could be using? Mrs. So-and-so. Then I told her, I don't know about that detail. So I was told, you call her and she'll tell you which department she is, because this is a big it's a big institution. We can be able now to know how we can help you. So we called her. She was off. So when she switched on her phone, she told us, I was in a meeting in UN and we don't use the mobile phones.
Then there's those security officers who stayed there in USA. And they asked us, what has she said? She has told us there was a meeting in UN and she was there. Then they told us, oh yes, there's an ongoing meeting. But it's going to spend almost the whole day. So we spent the whole day just around there, waiting for the documents. Then I was told, you have to facilitate to get those documents. My friend sent the money.
To who now?
To Lucy direct.
Okay.
After sending, we didn't get the letters we were supposed to get. We were told to go back home. The following day, she's going to do it, or before we arrive, we're going to get them on my email. It didn't happen. On arrival at home, it changed now because she called me and told me, you know, I've seen you talking to the GSU officers. What were you discussing? And I told her, I have not seen you anywhere. So she gave me a description of what we had won that day. True to her words, it was exactly. Then we were like, well, why didn't you show up? And I was in the parking lot. So I just saw you and was wondering, what were you discussing? I don't like that. I hope you're not discussing about your travel because that's confidential. Then we said, no. We were given a spot on where we are going to wait for you, since you cannot wait at the door. So I told you, go back home. But what you have done is not right. So you're going to pay a fine. Then we're like, why? She told us, those are not the instructions I gave you. I told you to wait and don't talk to anyone. So we said, we have not disclosed any information. Then she told her, how sure am I that you have not disclosed? Then we had an argument. Then we went home.
If she was in the parking lot, why couldn't she just come and meet you?
Yes, so she told her it was a break. So in this whole time, Charlene is still in Coast. And on and off, she's switching her phone, it's on. So, but you were in constant communication with Eunice. So Eunice told me she has been told the same because she was there also, but not the same time as I was. So we went home, and the one who was facilitating my payment told me, you know, this money I've borrowed from people and they need their money back. So when are you traveling? So I gave Lucy a call, and she assured us that in a week's time we would be traveling. So we agreed it's okay, and in a week's time, because this whole amount is going to be returned, I won't have a burden, or will I burden my parents to pay? So we went back home. Then after going back home, we were told, you know, since you're going there, you might be assigned to different places. If you'll be going to the hospice, you must have a Cape Card documentation entailing you're certified to work in a hospice.
For palliative care?
Yes, palliative care. Then I told her I don't have one. So I checked online. So it was taking almost 3 weeks before I get an approval to book now. So when I told her, she was like, for me, since it's just a call, you'll pay me directly. Then you'll give me your personal information on what I don't know. You know, already she has my passport number. She knows my name. So I was like, okay. So we paid the money.
Another transaction?
Another transaction. After now, we are done with all. Now the money for the Kepka, we now wait a few days. I'll be having all your documentation at hand, all of them. So before you travel, I'll give you at the airport. And we shall have met in Kenyatta so that you'll get your uniform. Then, according to my location, Kenyatta teaching is near. And she told me, I also come there. And I also have shares in that hospital.
At Kenyatta?
Teaching and referral. Not Kenyatta National Hospital.
Okay, you.
Yes. So I also have shares there, and I do come there because they work hand in hand.
She has shares at KU?
Yes.
Teaching and referral?
Yes.
Okay.
So I do come there, and you can come there. In the meantime, before you go, because Joanne is not yet done, we cannot leave her behind. So where do you want to be placed to be doing a part-time job? Then I said, KU is near me. So if it's okay, I'll go there. I thought, it's okay. So it did not happen. After we have exhausted now all the resources, we have paid for everything, we are now waiting to go for the day to go and get the visa to take the biometrics and the documentation. So we were told, oh, Moreen, come to town. Then I'll give you directives on where you're going to meet with the rest. I came to town. She went off. After now the payment, she went off. She called around 4. She told me, you need to go to the Commission of Canada. That's where you're going to get your visa. So, do you have your passport? Yes, I have it. I have it. Then I told her, I thought you were going to take it to the biometric center. And she was like, no, the biometrics have already taken your details because now it's for you to submit. So I went there. It was around 6. When I reached there, the security guard asked me, what are you doing here? There is nothing like that happens.
What?
Yes.
Is that the moment you realized now all is not well?
Yes. So I called her and I called Eunice. This is what I'm being told. And she told me, leave those securities. You know, they changed the shift, so they might not know exactly. So I went back home. The last transaction that we did, there was an issue. So we had to do a reversal of the money. After doing a reversal, we had now to claim back the money. So she told us, no, for me, I cannot see your amount. And I told her, no, I sent that money. let me initiate a reversal. Then she said, okay, initiate your reversal. It was 750,000. This amount was paid by my friend who was paying. So after now the reversal, we went to Airtel headquarters. Lucy is saying she has not received this money. And for me, the money went to her. I've called Safaricom. They're saying the money did go through. And they told me, yes, the money went through. It's there. Then they asked me, what kind of business are you doing? You have sent a lot of money. What kind of business? Then Lucy had already told me, when you are asked, just say we are doing business so that it doesn't raise eyebrows. And I told them, we do business. Then one of the attendee told me, this amount, your amount, she has not done the transfer, but in between she has done another transfer to two ladies. And I was like, they gave me the names, and I was like, what about my money? Then they told me, your money is safe. It's going to come back to your side, but you have to wait for 72 hours. Then I told Lucy, you told me you had not received my money, and you did. Why did you lie? And I was told that you do transfer to 2 other people. Then she told me one of them is actually a representative in the Commission of Canada. I do it directly because it's the government protocol. Then from that day now, it was another experience that I never thought would happen.
After 72 hours, did you receive the money?
We received the money.
Or the reversal?
The reversal came.
The reversal was successful.
It was successful. The money came back to me, and we did now send back again to her because it was already a facilitation fee. So we sent back the money to her. So after sending back the money, the one who was paying for me told me, Moreen, are you sure what we are doing? I've started feeling something is off. Then I told Lucy, I don't think I can afford any more money. If it would be best for you just to return the whole amount, let me just stay here, because as a family we are struggling. It had reached a point of even getting food at home was a challenge. My mom's business had collapsed. So my dad was now like the provider for food and everything. So it was draining me a lot. And I told her no. One of the people who had given me the money was my aunt. She was hospitalized. She went through an operation. She needed money. Moreen, do you have the money? I don't. What will happen? She stayed in hospital for a whole month. Luckily, she was able to maneuver. But unfortunately, after a few days, she went back again for another operation. The first one was not successful. So she came back alive as a miracle. Because they usually say if she couldn't make it, I could always blame myself. Because she had entrusted
us with a lot of money. So the trend now started trailing. People need their money back. We don't have the money. So I told her, I just want to call it a quit, because where we are, we're not in a good position. Then she told me, you know, Moreen, when all this information is disclosed, you can be chopped into pieces and put in a sack, you and your mother. Then I was like...
Was it that a threat?
Yes. Then I told her...
That you're not supposed to disclose
yes.
that process?
Yes.
Of defrauding you?
Of defrauding me. So I told her, no, I give you that amount with good faith, good intentions, and from the start I told you, this amount I've borrowed and I have to return. So after she told me that, she went off. I called my friend, Charlene. I asked her, Charlene, I've talked with Lucy and we're not coming to an agreement. I feel drained, and I had already now quit working because I knew we were traveling in a month's time, so I needed to prepare myself. So I told her, I'm not getting any income. You know, I have a small baby, and I cannot place this burden on my parents. So I want to call it a quit. Then she told me, when you did all those transactions, I did not take money out of your phone. Then I told her, why have you responded like that? Then I asked her, did you introduce me to someone who is scamming and you knew of it? She said, if she was a scammer, that means I'm also scammed. Just look for your ways on how you're going to return the money. Then I asked her, Charlene, 10 million is an amount that I don't know how I'm going to repay. I've never had that amount. My parents have never had that amount. So how am I going to pay that amount? And she told me, you go look for your own ways, sort yourself. And she switched off her phone. So I tried calling back. She had blocked me. So I called Eunice. I told her, I think for me, I would be joining you for the travel. Then she told me, you know, when you joke around like that, we're going to call Mungiki and you'll go missing. Then I had recordings of the conversation. So I don't know how she knew about it. So Lucy called me and told me, I know where you are. I know your exact location. If you don't want anything to go bad, delete. I looked at my family. I said, I cannot jeopardize their safety. So what do? I delete. Then now the communication has been cut off. I've already given them the money. The one who introduced me, she's not responding. I have introduced someone already. So Joanne is in the picture because of me. How do I break it to her that it was a scam? How will we be able to tell the people we have borrowed money, it was a scam. Who is going to believe you? And this amount, it's a huge amount. And even if you say you're going to return, how are you going to do about it? Then my mom had a conversation with Lucy afterwards. And she said the same words. And my mom also had a recording. We had set our phone to record automatically the conversation. So then she told my mom, you know, wewe na msichana wako mnaweza katakatiwa kwa magunia na hakuna mtu atajua. We felt very threatened and insecure. So we were told, delete. I told my mom, just do it.
How did they know that you were recording?
I don't know. I don't know. Because she could know when I've communicated with Charlene, the exact time. If it was a text message, she could. I had sent one of the audios to a relative. She found out. So I don't know if she had tapped my phone. I don't. So the dilemma now has begun. After a few days of them hanging up the phone and just going silent, I received a call from a gentleman, and she told me, I got the number from Eunice, you had communicated with her. And I want us, we meet. So there were other ladies. I don't know if it were true we were going along with them, that we were supposed to meet. So they tried to convince me for 3 days. We meet. Then I told my mom, the way they are talking, I feel not comfortable. There is that instinct that it's not right. So I didn't go. I didn't show up. Then after I didn't show up, the gentleman who was so polite became so harsh. Where exactly are you so that I can come? Then I told the person, what do you want exactly? Ni wewe nataka. So I asked him, what exactly do you want? Nikikupata nitajua kenye nataka. So I declined the call and blocked the number. So in November, we had completed the transaction. We are now in the reality, the money is gone. So they have threatened now, they can't do anything. I don't feel safe anymore to go. And if I go somewhere, I'll get a call, an anonymous call. We know where you are. So it happens that I won't go back to work. I quit now working as a caregiver. We stay at home. Then December was now the month that we were to travel in the story. But it didn't happen. So on January 9th, I reported in Kiambu, and I provided the transaction, the mobile transaction that I had done. So I wrote a statement. I was directed to the DCI offices. I have...
The transactions, you mean these ones?
Yes.
These this one, all this.
Yes, all that.
This is like a book.
Yes.
All these are the transactions of the money.
Yeah.
And they are back to back. They are printed back to back.
Yeah, they are back to back.
My goodness. You know, we can say like it's like in volumes.
Yeah, they're in volumes because the transaction were in large quantities, even if you check. $60,200. $50,185, and these are thousands. 150,000, 100,000, 22,000, 80,000, 20,000, 124, 50,000, 135, 140,000. And this is just one volume. Yeah.
And this represents these other volumes.
Yes.
So this is what you went with to report.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Somebody pocketed this money.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, you reported and then?
I reported. I submitted now the transactions and the investigations began. After I've written my statement of the whole story. So they made a submission of inquiry to Kenyatta Hospital and Kenyatta Teaching to confirm if she was an employee, but she wasn't.
She was not.
She was not.
She was just meeting you in those locations
In
to
those,
convince you.
Yes. She was not. In Lemuma, there was also a request, and I was there. So she was also not part. They were not part and parcel of what was going on. So in Lemuma, she had done the transaction herself. She had paid for me. So she was not their employee, neither do they have any collaborations. So later on, I was assigned now to an officer in charge of my case, and all through I've been getting feedback on what is going on, to a point now where there is no more investigation to be done. And there was a release of arrest of the 3 culprits and 2 ladies in question where the money was going to them. They were arrested, but they had an officer whom made a call, and they were released on cash bail of 70,000, and they have been reporting to the station after every 2 weeks. But the people I sent money and Charlene, up to date, they have not been arrested.
Including Lucy.
Including Lucy, Eunice and Charlene. It's over a year now.
And here is a letter from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions.
Yes.
So the process has moved, is only that they've not been arrested.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So you have taken the right legal action yourself?
Myself, without using any money. Because in the midst of all that, I had asked for someone's help, and she insulted me and told me, you and your family are fools. If you could do a transaction of that amount without raising eyebrows, it means you're not thinking straight. And I told her, even myself, I don't know, because I've borrowed this amount. And she told me, you could have built some apartments and you could be getting money. Then I told her, that is not what I wanted. No one borrows money with an intention it's going to be stolen. We cannot all fit in the office. We need to work. Then she told me, you can give me your story, then I just use it to air my page. And from there you sort yourself. Then I told her, for now I'm not ready for that. I don't want to seem to be your puppet. I needed a shoulder and someone to tell me, you're going to get help from the police. But she was telling me, the police are just going to take money from you. Even those who stole, they're going to come and pay them. But the officer who has been in charge has never asked for any money from me. I've never paid for any investigation or anywhere they went. I didn't. So they have done due diligence.
Until to the point where they get the okay
Yes.
from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions.
Exactly.
Then it shows that indeed what you claim to be is what happened.
Yes. But now the 3 ladies have not been put into book. I don't know if they're in Kenya. I don't know if they have traveled. I don't know how I'm going to maneuver my way around.
How are you carrying this burden, Moreen?
It's not easy because I don't have a social life anymore. I cannot move around. So working online can only sustain me to be able to pay loans from the bank because I cannot default. But for people's money, I don't know. I don't know.
The people that you borrowed from?
Yes, I don't know.
How about the loans?
The loans for the bank, for the circle that I have, I'm paying. But what people gave us is what I don't know on how I'm going to go about it. And one thing I was told is they might be arrested, yes. They might say they don't have money. They might have spent it. My worry is I cannot even afford a lawyer if I'm told to have one.
Sorry.
I don't even know when they are going to be arrested. I don't know what is missing. I don't want to assume what I was told is going to happen. So I don't know how I'm going to move about it. Financially, it's draining because whatever you get, you must ensure you pay loan. It's not easy. It's draining.
Who do you think can be of help? If they got this message, that they can assist you.
I would appreciate to get justice. Because I'm sure I'm not the only victim who has been victimized. If I can get someone to stand by me and tell me, I'm going to represent you. Because I'll need a lawyer at some point if they're arrested. I cannot afford to pay a lawyer. Myself, I'm juggling around things. So I cannot afford a lawyer. Financially, it's draining. Because it's 1 year, people have given you money and you have not returned even a cent.
And somebody to guide you with DCI?
I would appreciate any help. Any help, may it be justice, to get justice, may it be financial help, may it be work that I can be able to do to pay back. I would really appreciate. Because as much as the money was taken, I still have my life and I can work.
All you wanted is to better your life.
It's to better my life.
And secure the future of your baby.
Yeah.
I believe that will happen. That it will, that you'll achieve your desire, and somebody will assist you to walk through this tough journey, because it is a tough journey. It's a very tough journey. But you know, as we say, this is Tuko family. They are gifted and networked in different ways. However, in as much as they may be offering to help, please do not go for that help alone. Always have company in case somebody would like to meet you, because as you say, there's those people who have been calling you to meet and they give you threats. And at this point, I would like to ask, if they were giving you threats and you had not shared the story, how about now?
I had even reported to the police station I'm getting threats. But nothing changed.
So why did you decide that you want to share the story in as much as you're getting threats?
Silence is not helping. It's traumatizing. it's not something that you're even able to talk about. Even when you say that amount, someone thinks you're going crazy. And I know they're out there, and there could be other victims who are not able to have the courage to talk it out. Let me be the one person who will stand for them regardless.
Moreen, before we leave, there are people that you borrowed money from, people that you owe, and probably they did not believe what you're telling them, but now they have an idea. They may have seen this interview and have an idea of what went wrong. What would you tell them?
To everyone who gave me money, I did not steal. We did not steal as a family. Neither did we put that money knowing it's being stolen. I don't know how, but I will repay it back, because you gave it in good faith, with good hearts of helping. Let not this occurrence make you have a cold heart to help someone. And to my family, I know some information I've disclosed, you're going to know it today. And I'm really sorry for making you go through the pain that you have to go through. But I know I'm going to make you proud. I know it's going to take time, but I don't know how. But things will be well. To everyone out there who might be in the same situation, let not suicide be an option. Because if you die, no one will know what you're going through. And you have your dreams, regardless of how long they may take. Just try. Keep trying.
Thank you, Moreen.
To everyone we owe, please bear with us. It's not an easy burden. Just give us time, and we'll do it. We just need time. Be patient. It's not easy. Even putting your money and your families through the same pain we're going through. Kindly bear with us. That's all I could ask of you. My phone number is 0700321709.
Repeat it.
0700321709.
Okay. And have you registered it?
Yes, it's registered under my name. So when you reach me, to just write Moreen Jango, my official name.
Okay. Thank you so much, Moreen, for the courage and the risk of sharing such a heavy story. I know I may have an idea, or probably I can only imagine what you're going through. Imagining that you're carrying such a huge burden, and it wasn't your wish, and somebody somewhere is enjoying this money that you had not even worked for. It was borrowed from friends, family, loans, that is banks and circles. But we hope that you find justice by sharing the story. You also spoken on behalf of others who may be in the process of being defrauded by the people that are named in this letter from the ODPP. And some of them might contact you to get the real names, or rather the full names, because we've used just single names. But some people may contact you to confirm whether they are dealing with this Lucy, with Charlene, with Eunice. because, as you say, you could be just one of the victims. But we hope that Tuko family will work with you even as you fight for justice. And we wish you the very best, and we hope that your dreams come true, because that is what you desired to have. Tuko family, what a story, what a narration, what an experience that Moreen has gone through, all in the name of bettering her life and securing a future for her child. This is not a book. These are volumes of evidence of money that she sent to somebody who purported to help her to go to Canada as a nursing aid service provider. And this person even took her to Kenyatta National Hospital to convince her that she works there. Unfortunately, probably she was just a visitor at that facility. Tuko family, let's work with Moreen. My name is Kimori Wangeshi. This has been my story right here on Tuko. Thank you for watching. And be cautious.